what's your Yahweh this week?
My Yahweh is the mission trip that we're gonna go on, because usually I'm just like, I don't know, this sounds bad, but I'm usually like not excited. Cause like, I don't
usually
know,
hate everything.
just like the idea of like, you know, staying with people for like a week and like stuff, yeah.
Staying
like
in a crusty church.
Yeah, like it's just like not,
Getting hot and sweaty
Yeah.
and doing work.
it's just like not my thing, because I'm a lazy bum. But Jesus is helping me, and I'm like actually excited. So yeah,
I'm excited too.
funsies. Okay, what's your Yahweh, Haley?
My Yahweh is, I was reading Exodus, like I'm rereading Exodus right now, and it was really interesting, like, because I never thought of this, and like, okay, so I'm reading like a devotional plan that goes along with the Exodus, so like it breaks down everything you read, and it like put into correlation that the last plague, like the firstborn sacrifice, is like the same sacrifice as Jesus being the firstborn, and I was like, I never thought of that. That's so cool.
That's crazy.
And it's like, that's the last sacrifice that like let them be free, and Jesus was our last sacrifice. Like
Cross references.
the cross reference, and it was just, you know,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Period.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about the third fruit of the Spirit, peace. Peace. Peace and shalom. Peace. Yeah. So, the definition that I found for like a biblical reference is peace is knowing, well, not biblical, but like Christian definition. Peace is knowing that God is on our side no matter what, and being able to rest in that. So,
I have something like so similar. I said, peace is knowing we have God, we have accepted Him, He surrounds us, protects us, and He's with us, and we have contentment with that fact.
Yes. In today's world, it is like, I feel like it's pushed so heavily to be like, find yourself and you will find peace. But you're not gonna find true peace until you find Jesus. You can do all the things, like you can like meditate, you can do yoga, like that can help you.
And you can find like a type of peace, but you will
Yeah.
not find peace.
You can do stuff to help you find it, but you're not gonna find like true, everlasting peace until you find Jesus. So yeah.
And peace, like all the other fruits of the Spirit, which I feel like it's gonna get repetitive because we say it, but like
It's just truth.
it's just how it is. Like peace is always with you. It's something only God gives you. It's like it's, and you should be like so joyous in that fact that that is what peace is. It's this like gift that God gives us that only He can give us, that reassures us and helps us deal with this world.
Yeah, this verse goes along with what you just said. John 14:27 says, I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give is a gift that the world cannot give, so don't be troubled or afraid.
I had that same verse.
Y'all, we
don't look at each other's notes.
No.
We just come.
let it be a
just-
God thing.
We just like start filming.
Yeah.
I have that same verse, but mine's in a different version. I'm gonna read my version because it's different.
Okay.
Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. That's New International Version.
Mine was NLT, so yeah.
I like to read multiple versions of it.
Yeah.
But that's really funny.
That means we can have peace because we have, what am I saying? Sorry. The world's peace, just like the world's idea of happiness and love, is usually based on circumstances, but God's peace is not, and will always be based on Him, and that's it. And that means we can have peace because we have someone looking out for us 24/7 who has a plan for us.
Yeah.
And just resting in that fact and alone should bring you contentment and peace.
Oh, I would like to point out that not only should we like know that fact that we should have that peace, but we should also be living it out. Which, like, I know we said this last time again, but like I feel like it's okay. We're just gonna like, there's multiple ways to live out this different. There's, they're all the same. They're all fruits of the Spirit, so they're all so similar.
Yeah.
But you should be living out the peace that God gives us, because we can't be forgetting that it is a gift. It is special that we have this peace. You know, it's not just something everyone's gonna get just because. Like, it's something he gives you specifically, and so we need to like live out that fact. Like, we need to live out and like go about our life knowing that we have this peace because of him that he's given us. And like, since we can't attain peace from this world, we need to like be even more grateful that we can attain it from him, because we can't attain it from anything else.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for him, we would not be able to know what that was.
Yeah. He is the ultimate source of peace. And that's all we need, you know? And I think sometimes it's so easy to like be so anxious or you know, just like worry all the time. But you have to fix your eyes on God and choose. It's so hard. I know it's so hard. But you have to crucify your flesh and choose to have peace in Jesus in everything you do and how you live. And that means like choosing to trust God even when it's hard, choosing to trust his character, you know, how he works, even though sometimes you feel like it's so questionable and you like don't understand. But you just have to like, in your heart, I feel like we need to talk about that. Like, you have to know in your heart that you're trusting God. Like, you have to want it to trust God and to have peace. You can't just like, you know.
It's not just like a mind thing. Because I feel like just thinking it in your mind is more of a humanly thing.
It's like what your heart, you know, it desires is to have peace with God. So yeah.
And I saw this quote when I was looking like for stuff. I don't know who it's from, but it's just something I found. But it says, the Bible never promises that we will escape the storms of life. It does, however, promise us peace and protection in the midst of those storms.
Period. Like we said, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like we said last week, like, it doesn't mean the absence of pain. Peace and joy don't mean the absence of pain. But
Just because we have this peace doesn't mean that we will not have conflict or stress or difficult times, or just because, like, as Christians, God gives us peace doesn't mean he is not allowing us to have difficult times for us to grow. The peace is just like he gives us that to handle those things in together.
Yeah.
You have them together.
Yeah.
Because you can have those together, even though in the world you can't have like worldly peace and stress at the same time. But you can have godly peace and stress at the same time.
And because peace is a fruit of the Spirit, which is like a fruit you should be living out in everything you do, like I said. Or that should be shown in you in everything you do. We should also have peace with in our lives, like in our relationships with others, friendships, you know. So Romans 12:18 says, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. We are called to be peacekeepers. Like, somebody upsets you, turn the other cheek. Don't you have to make effort to have peace. And I know sometimes that there is just like no getting around it, but like you have to live out every effort to have peace with everybody. That means not tearing down others, and that means being quick to listen, you know, slow to speak and slow to get angry, like James 1:19 says. And I know that's so hard. I struggle with that so much, but you just have to like strive for peaceful relationships with everybody.
Like, and it says, I don't know where it says this, but somewhere it says in the Bible, it says we're not supposed to be, like, we're not the judges. We're not the judges of this world. Like, that's God's job. So, like, leave that to God. So, if we're not supposed to judge others, if that's not what our job is to be, then then what else can we do? We are supposed to, like, hold the peace, hold the not let it get to that point.
Yeah.
No point, no reason in trying to be the judge when we just need to be the peacekeepers, like it says.
Yeah. And I know it's so hard in today's world. I know it's hard. But Jesus never said it was going to be easy.
Yeah. That's one point I have is... Wait, hold on, let me read this. that a lot of times, like, as Christians, it can honestly bring you more conflict than what?
Sorry, I was staring in space.
If being Christians, it can bring you more conflict than not, because everything that this world's not like meant. This isn't our world. It's not meant for us to be who we are.
Yeah.
And so, but if we accept God's peace despite our circumstances, then we can live our life to the fullest and know and celebrate that peace that God gives us, because we know that even despite this world, we're learning everything and growing here, and He gives us the peace to know that we will one day be with Him.
Like, just like cling to His promises, you know?
Yeah.
That
should give you peace alone.
Yeah, like I have that written down, like the bottom line, fix your eyes on Jesus and His word, and literally like read the word. Reading the word brings me so much peace, because you see the evidence of His promises in so many lives and so many stories, and then like just even like prayer, like, oh my gosh, I've had so many times I'll be like, Jesus, you know I'm struggling right now. I just need some peace. Like, please give me peace. I can't do this. Like, I'm so worried. I'm so anxious. And it's just like an undeniable, unexplainable, uncontrollable peace that just like washes over you in like the midst of like the hardest times in my life. I ask God for peace, and it washes over you, literally. And sometimes He won't give it, but that's part of His plan.
Yeah.
And you still know in the back of your head, like, you know what? God has a plan for me, you know?
And I feel like a lot of times I couldn't say that I've ever felt like Aubrey has like told of like a lot of times where she's like physically, I don't know if she's not saying, I wouldn't say physically, but she's literally felt like the overwhelming peace of God. But I would say more for myself, like a lot of times I will pray, be like, please God, like I just need, like, I'm angry right now, I'm annoyed with people, and like I just need you to like be with me, fill me with your Holy Spirit. And I can just like, and it's not necessarily like it is Him filling me with His Holy Spirit and feel it, but I don't necessarily feel it. I can just see a change in my actions and a change in my demeanor, and it's like, it's not even something that I can register, but it's just so, like, looking back on the fact, like, it's so crazy to think about that peace that He gives me in those moments of like anxiety and stress. To know that like all you have to do is literally just, it's literally less than a phone call, because it's like just like a God, you don't even have to do anything, you don't even have to push any buttons, just God,
He's there.
He's literally just there, just like a breath away.
And like I will say, it doesn't like happen a lot that I get that unexplainable peace, but I know it's there because I've felt it before. And it'll just come at like the most perfect time, and it's just like I said, it's unexplainable, and it's a peace that the world cannot give at all. So yeah. And like also, you can have peace when you like reflect on like what God has done and how He works. Be like, this is how I see it. Like, He's brought me this far, you know, and I'll look back and be like, oh my gosh, He brought me through all of that. He literally, that should show that He literally has a perfect plan for us, and He has His timing and His design is perfect, and that's just so peaceful to think about.
Like, we don't have to like sit here, just think about how stressful it is to sit, and if you've literally ever planned literally anything, planned your day out, think how stressful that is. And just to know that God has your whole life planned out, that should bring you peace, because you like, just think of all the stress you don't have to have because God has your life planned out. Like, the lack of stress brings me peace. The lack of the worry that God takes from me, the burden He takes off of me brings me peace.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like if I didn't have Jesus and I had to like plan out my whole career, my life, and all of that, and like what I was doing with my life, I feel like I would like spiral so quick. So quick, because I think now I know what I want to do with my life, but like I know it's in God's hands, so I don't really like, it's like at the back of my mind. I'm just like, you know, But before I like really got close to Jesus, I thought about that 24/7, and I was so nervous about it. But literally, he has it in his hands, you know?
He thinks about it 24/7. Why do I have to?
Yeah.
Which that's what for the longest time, that's all I worried about. This year, I would worry about it for a long time because that's all anyone ever asks you is what you're going to do,
Yeah.
what job you're going to do.
Yeah, if anybody's like coming up to be either a junior or a senior, you're gonna get asked, where are you going to college? What you doing with your life? All
And
of
it's
that.
and like I don't know.
And I literally, before I like knew what I was doing, I would literally be like, I don't know yet. It's in God's hands, and you can say that.
That's what I say because, and a lot of people have high expectations for a lot of people, like expectations for you to know, and it's like overwhelming that fact. And so until I put it into God's hands, it's so stressful to have to think it all out. So just the peace of being able to put it into his hands.
You know the song's like, he's got the whole world in his hands. Just think of that.
Yeah.
And sing it.
I have one more point, but it's like a cool thing in the Bible shown in Paul's letters.
Okay, period.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, so I have one more thing that I also found on that same place I found the quote, and it pointed this out, and it was like super cool to think about. So in all of Paul's letters he writes, he doesn't ever say peace and grace to you. He says grace and peace to you. And that's because he's telling us to first accept God's grace and accept God's grace onto us before we can ever accept God's peace onto us.
Oh,
what? And I have no idea if like maybe that was intentional, but to just think that has to be intentional. That's a God
thing.
That's a God wink right there. That was intentional to just think in every single one of his letters. When you see grace and peace, it's because he's telling you to accept God's grace and accept his love in all of it before you can ever accept to feel his peace onto you and experience that peace. And that's just crazy. And he's saying this to everyone. Like, you know how many people probably read those letters? Like, he's saying, you know how many people probably thought that? I'm not. But like all these people, he's telling them to accept God's grace before they can ever feel his peace.
Literally,
That's just crazy.
and that is what you have to do. You just have to surrender it.
And that is exactly how it is.
You have to surrender and accept God's grace and that he has it in his hands. Then you're gonna have peace.
It just like comes hand in hand. So I just thought that was really cool.
Okay. Well, thanks.
That's why I love Paul, anyways.
Yeah. Period, Paul.
I'm sorry, that was cringy. It was funny.
I'm sorry.
Period, Paul. You eat that up. Anyways, job.
Thanks for listening.
Don't forget about our stickers. You can DM us, and we will ship them to you.
Yeah.
Through the mail.
Through the mail, like we were shipping through anything else.
Like they'll send it in an envelope.
Yeah. Jesus loves you.
Bye, baby.
Bye bye.